Start show with the host Julian Leahy. Today I'm joined by the fantastic Michael Huber and Allyson Hawkins Ward. Welcome to the show, guests.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hello, Julian. Thank you for having me.
Wonderful. And we're going to play Jeopardy, and then we're going to meet our fantastic guests. Let's cue the Jeopardy music and load up the game. All right, the categories are point the finger, which I think is anything to do with finger, you know, like ladies' finger biscuits, for example. Beetle Womania, somehow relating females to Beatlemania. Ribs, pretty self-explanatory. On a first name basis, I can't remember that category. Game descriptions, and I'm talking about shift. So clever uses of shift. Got to be careful with that one. Allyson, you can kick things off. What category would you like?
Let's see. On a first name basis for 100.
On a first name basis for 100. Though spelled differently, it's the real first name of Diddy and Jay-Z, who are in the news for all the wrong reasons.
That is so true. And that must be the reason why I blanked their first name out.
Yeah, you blank it out. Can anyone remember? The only one
I know it.
You know it. Let's go.
Sean.
Michael. Sean is correct. Well done. I knew Sean Jay-Z Carter, but then I forgot about old Sean Puff Diddy. You're in control now, Michael Huber. What would you like?
Let's go on a first name basis for 200.
First name basis 200. Like late actor Nielsen, Gerald Ford had this given first name. You know it, Allyson. Oh, you got to jump in if you know it.
I didn't know I could jump in.
Yeah, Sean. Not Sean Puff Diddy Combs. Michael Huber got that one. Well done. Just called you Sean there. All right. Continuing on, Michael. What would you like?
Let's stay with it on a first name basis.
First name basis 300. Telly Savalas, also known as, was it Kojak? May not have had Mr. Onassis money, but he did share this intellectual first name.
Christides?
Oh, is that his real name? The Greek name? What was it? Christides? Let's take a look.
Christides. Yeah, I don't know.
I think you're pretty close. Oh, no. It's old Aristotle.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
Famous Greek philosopher.
I love Telly Savalas.
Yeah. I look like him. A little bit? All right.
A little bit. No lollipop, though.
Right, the lollipop.
The
lollipop. Signature line. Who loves you, baby?
Yeah. I only watched the reruns, as I'm sure you all did too. Michael, you're still in control. What would you like?
Let's stay with first name basis for 400.
First name basis for 400. In Spanish, please. It's the real name of Chuck Norris and Charlie Sheen.
Carlos.
Carlos. Well done.
Nicely done.
You got it. No hesitation. What would you like? Allyson.
Well, we're on a roll here. Let's stick with on a first name basis for
straight
500.
lines. I like it. Paul McCartney's real first name, he shares it with two apostles.
Peter Paul?
Let's take a look. James. Interesting.
Ooh.
Did not know that at all.
I had no idea.
No, Paul McCartney. I feel like you've hoodwinked me. Allyson, you're still in control.
Let's go with game descriptions for 100.
Game descriptions. Send a one-hopper home to get the guy who tagged up. Shoot it around the horn. What game is that? Baseball. Well done, Michael.
All right, let's stick with that for 200.
Game descriptions for 200. In a Namco game, cat fruit, dodge ghosts, get the hungry gal around the maze.
I can see it clearly.
Miss Pac-Man.
Yeah. Miss Pac-Man. It's got to be. I can't read that. Hang on. Give me a second. Ms. Pac-Man. Why didn't they just call it Pac-Woman?
Right.
Big question for another time.
Yeah. I'm going to stay very orderly here. Let's go with game descriptions for 300.
Game descriptions for 300. Clear the zone. Stay out of the crease when trying to score on the power play.
Hockey.
Hockey. Okay. I was going to say cricket, but these are American Jeopardy questions. And that is correct. Well done, Michael.
Let's go game descriptions for 400.
Game descriptions 400. Roll dice and try to get your 15 counters off the board
What is
before the
backgammon?
other guy. Watch out for doubling. Allison says backgammon. Let's take a look. It is correct. Well done, Allison. Good work. That was obscure to me. Game descriptions for 500, says Allison. As Master Chief, shoot at the Covenant, massacre the Flood, rinse, repeat. This is for the Xbox fans. Somehow I know this one. As Master Chief, shoot at the Covenant, massacre the Flood. So when the Xbox came out, they had a game that was kind of like I think it might have even been bundled with it, and it was this huge Microsoft game. If you don't into games and don't have boys, you won't know. The answer is Halo. Actually, girls play Halo too. I shouldn't be sexist. Yep. All right. Who picked that one? Michael, you still in control?
Yeah, let's.
It was Allison.
Oh, sorry, Allison.
Go ahead. Yeah, she got the hard one. Yes.
Yes, you did too.
Okay, let's go with I'm just talking about shift for 100.
I'm just talking about shift. A manual transmission requires the driver to use one of these alliterative items.
What is a
Stick
stick shift?
Oh.
What did you say, Allison?
What is a stick shift?
And Michael?
Stick shift.
Okay. Well done, Allison. You got it first. To me, because I'm stupid, I thought the answer was clutch, but then I forgot that I'm talking about shift. That's why I gave Michael a chance. All right, you are in control still, Allison. What would you like? And one of us just opened up for you, the next one.
One's up here.
I might have accidentally pressed the mouse. I'm talking about shift for 200. Charnel work period between midnight and 8 a.m.
Graveyard shift.
Okay, yep.
Oh, graveyard shift. Well done, Michael Huber. You got it.
Let's go with talking about shift for 300.
Talking about shift for 300. Non-fiction bestseller about the battle to succeed, Johnny Carson.
Night shift.
Oh, Night Shift. Did they make that into a movie? Oh, it's called The Late Shift, actually. You were close. Yeah. Unfortunately. Did you know that one, Allison?
I did not.
No, okay. Nothing lost there. And you're in control, I think, Michael, still? Yes, you are?
Yeah. Let's go with shift for 400.
I'm assuming you said shift. On True Blood, Sam is this hyphenated kind of creature, often becoming a dog. Hyphenated type of creature, something to do with shift.
What is a shapeshifter?
Shapeshifter. Let's take a look. Is correct. Well done, Allison. Very good. 1,300 versus 1,100. Close game.
Oh, all right. Come for you, Michael.
You've already got him.
Just got all the big ticket items. I'm getting all the easy
Yeah,
ones.
it pays off sometimes. The big ones.
I'm just talking about shift for 500. Let's stick with
Let's
that.
do that one. Jury rigged.
Hmm.
When a jury's rigged. I was just reading about Sonny the Bull Gravano when he rigged the trial for John Gotti. It's just ignore me. I have no idea what the answer is. Anybody? Shift. Let's take a look. Makeshift. What is makeshift? Okay. If you say so, Alex. You're in control still. Allison, what was that?
Okay, how about point the finger for 100?
Point the finger for 100. The identification of the unique marks a gun leaves on a bullet is called ballistic this. No dusting required.
Fingerprints?
Is correct. Well done, Mr. Huber.
Let's go point the finger for 200.
Point the finger 200. After dining on finger foods, dip your digits into one of these to clean off. Oh,
What's a finger bowl?
Finger bowl is correct. Well done, Allison. I was going to go, what do you call that bowl that you put your finger in? Allison just knew.
Let's go with point the finger for 300.
Point the finger for 300. The lunula is the small white crescent moon-shaped part of one of these. The lunula is the small white crescent moon-shaped part of one of these. No idea. Time's up. Let's take a look. Fingernails. The little bit that you cut off is the lunula. It looks like the moon.
There you go.
Wow. Never needed to know that.
Learn something new.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Pick up your lunula. I'll say that to my kids. All right, Allison, I think you're still in control.
Okay, let's switch
hello.
up here and can you hear me? Let's go with ribs for 100.
Mixing it up. Ribs 100. In Genesis, he wakes up to find himself -1 rib, but +1 female.
Who was
Adam.
Adam, I think Allison got in there just before you. Well done, Allison.
All right, let's stick with ribs for 200.
Ribs for 200. In architecture, a ribbed ceiling with arches is called one of these, like a room in a bank.
Vaulted. Vaulted ceiling.
Michael says vaulted. That's well done.
Let's go Beetlewomania for 100.
Beetlewomania. Lady Gaga was among the stars who joined her new plastic band for the 2010 rendition of Give Peace a Chance. What is the question? Lady Gaga was among the stars who joined her new plastic band, I guess her band, for a 2010 rendition of Give Peace a Chance. Lady Gaga's band. I'll accept anything here. Let's take a look. Her new this person had a new plastic band. Lady Gaga joined her, and it was Yoko Ono. If Yoko Ono's making music, I'll turn the sound down. Do you seen that clip where she's playing with Chuck Berry, and they had to turn her microphone off? She was like screaming. Oh, it's very funny.
All right, after that debacle, I'll go back to ribs for 300.
Ribs, yeah, that one's a bit tough. This cotton fabric with vertical raised ribs comes in wide wale and pinwale varieties.
What is corduroy?
Corduroy. Very quick off the mark and correct. Well done, Allison.
Very nice.
Okay. Let's stick with ribs for 400, please.
Ribs for 400. The lowest two pairs of ribs in humans are known by this suspended adjective as they don't attach in the front.
Floating.
Floating. I broke one of my floating ribs once. That's why another one. Well done, Michael.
Let's go with ribs for 500.
Ribs for 500. The ribs of a boat's frame, they're shivered in a salty expression. Shivered. You know what they're trying to do there.
What are timbers?
Yeah, it's got to be like, because they're doing the whole pirate thing. Well done, Allison.
Wow, that's great.
You got to be a bit lateral. You got it. What would you like?
I was counting on you, Michael, for that one since you live near the shore. Let's go with point the finger for 400.
Point the finger 400. Close basketball shot from the tip of the hand into the basket. Point the
What
finger.
is a dunk?
Finger roll.
Finger roll is correct. Well done, Michael. And
Let's go point the finger for 500.
point the finger for 500. Elmira Corning Regional Airport is one gateway to this scenic region.
What is
Finger
the
Lakes.
Who got that first? It's like Allyson started first, but Michael finished first because he said it quicker. All right,
Well, I've been asking you guys a
I'm
question
going to give it
too.
to Allyson because she started first.
Okay.
Even though Michael finished it. Allyson, what would you like?
Well, I guess it's Beatlemania for 200.
Let's plunge into it. Ringo Starr wed first wife Maureen Cox in London in 1965. She'd been born in this Mersey River city in 1946.
Liverpool.
Liverpool's got to be. Well done, Michael Huber.
Beatlemania for 300.
Beatlemania 300. Buddy Clark's 1947 chart-topping song Linda was written about the future wife of this Beatle when she was 5 years old.
George Harrison.
Allyson.
Oh no! Oh, I got that wrong. Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
I don't know her name. I don't know her
It's Linda McCartney, wife of Paul McCartney.
name. Right.
That kill me. Beatlemania for 400.
Beatlemania 400. Half of what I say is meaningless, John Lennon sang on Julia, which bears the name of this woman in his life. Time's up. I think it's Mum. Mother is correct. Well done, Julian. Last question. Before she was married to Eric Clapton, George Harrison wrote the song Something About Her. Which
Who was
woman?
Layla?
Layla. It was Patty Boyd.
I knew it was Patty
song.
Harrison. I didn't know her last name.
It was the song Layla though, but it was about Patty Boyd, I think. I thought it was
Patty is who I was thinking of for Linda McCartney. I got him screwed up.
Yes, well, let's have a round of applause. Very good game. 2,900 for Allyson, 2,400 for Michael Huber. Allyson takes it. Some good questions in that one, I thought. I enjoyed it. All right, Allyson.
Struggled with the Beatlemania, but
Yeah, that one. Some of
That was
those
a little tricky.
were
That
a
was a
little
little-
tough. Anyway, Allyson, tell us a little bit about what you're up to and what you're doing now. You're an author. You're a speaker. Tell us about how you got into that.
let's see, how did I get into it? So I kind of started my life following the traditional path that my mom and dad wanted me to do, kind of, going to college, going to grad school, starting a career, a family, all those things. And then everything was great until everything wasn't great. My mom died at a very young age. When my children were very young, I got divorced, and I found myself trying to balance everything. And I needed to figure out some new strategies and tools. And then I went on this whole journey of personal development and professional development. And so what I do now is I help other people to figure out how to be more productive, feel more, I hate the word balanced. I don't think there's anything such as true balance, but to help people figure out how to manage their lives in a better way so that they can feel more energized and excited about the work that they're doing. And so I just wrote a new book that came out very late this summer. I'm happy to say it's at bestseller status, called Demolish Your Stress. And so what I'm doing now is taking on new speaking engagements and really going out to corporations to help people to really take this on, right? Corporations are looking for increased productivity. Workers are looking to be less stressed and burned out. So it's a good marriage. It's fun. It's a very holistic, attainable way for anybody, and anybody can buy the book, but the presentation also helps for people to deepen the learning. So
Allyson, as someone who does a lot of copywriting, I love that the title of your book, it just absolutely sings off the page. How long did it take you to come up with that?
Actually, the funny thing is, I struggled, as it's so important to get that right name that really communicates what you're doing. And the book is based on a presentation that I wrote 10 years ago. And my internal name was always Build a Strong House, because I use a metaphor of a house for how you can build your life. And I'm like, but strong house, that doesn't mean anything to anybody else. And I tried like 20 different names, and then it was finally like, well, what is it doing? Oh, it's helping you demolish the stress. I was like, well, let's just keep it simple, right? Let's just keep it really, really simple. So I have some good friends who help me with that.
Awesome. Yeah. I mean, there's a million reduced stresses and beat stresses, but nobody's demolishing stress like you, Allyson. And what types of people really seem to align with what you're doing?
I would say anybody who is in the phase of life where they're juggling all those things. So it's really probably geared more towards, someone who's like in their 40s, men and women who are in that, they're raising kids. They might have elderly parents. They're, maybe active in their faith in their church or synagogue or temple. And they're trying to do their careers as well. And it's trying, right? They're feeling that's literally what it's trying on them. And they're figuring out, how can I get it all done? And since the pandemic, people still haven't really rebounded the way that they might. And so there's a lot of burnout, a lot of stress. And my whole mission, the reason I'm doing this is because I had to figure it out so long ago to meet my goal of raising amazing young daughters. I was like, okay, I got to figure this out. And so I know what it's like to be in that situation because I was there. So it's why I'm so passionate about training other people who are largely in corporate environments. I speak to entrepreneurial offices, organizations as well, but really anybody who's got a big team and trying to figure out how to help them be happier and just more satisfied in life.
Do you have a slight difference in genders? Do you have more women than men that you speak to, or is it roughly 50-50?
In the past, I was doing a lot of work with women. So if you went to my Instagram page, it really has catered towards women. But when I'm speaking, no, it's men. I've been to some large corporations. The audience, it's like a VP of, a division is like, I want to get my team set up, ready to go for the next year. I'm a motivational, I'm an energetic person. So, coming in and bringing the energy and showing people what's possible. So it's not really gender specific.
Awesome. So speaking is kind of the main side of things that you're building on, and the books probably go hand in hand. Is that correct?
It is. I have group coaching and training programs that I do for women, but I don't really. Those are people who've already been around me and have known me for a while. This is the thing that I really am so focused on now because, like I said, I know I can serve so many more people doing the book than just people who engage me for speaking engagements, which is why I put it down in a book.
Yeah, that's awesome. And speaking is great. And what types of businesses have you spoken in front of?
A lot of large corporations. So I've been fortunate enough to speak in front of corporations like Unilever. And the great thing is, the great nod is, I get in there once and they're like, can you come to this team? Like, I kind of move you around, come back, which is awesome. Done some work with, I live in near Washington, D.C. So I've done some work with some of the large federal agencies here on teams as well.
Oh, that's exciting. Secret Service people in the audience and stuff, checking you out.
Well, you know what? I used to sell for years. I worked for IBM and I actually sold to the federal government. So I kind of know that space pretty well, and I enjoy working with. I had a general manager who used to always say, we're here to serve. Our mission is to serve the federal government who serves the constituents in the United States. Mm-hmm. So
the good thing is with government customers, they always pay you.
Well, they do, but it might take longer than others.
You can't ring them up.
No, awesome. They have a process.
Awesome. And just on your website there, we've got the your confidence guide. People can plug into that. Obviously, got to give you the email address. And tell us a bit about that. What's involved in that guide?
Yeah. So the thing that a lot of people are struggling with is confidence, right? How can I more confidently step into the space of? And a lack of confidence often keeps people from reaching their goals. So I wanted to put something together that people could really learn from, because you can't give someone confidence. You have to earn the confidence. And to do it, it's often stepping out of your comfort zone into new spaces and building a skill. I would also mention that on my website, I have another program that is really about setting yourself up for the next 12 months. And I love this program because one of the things that I talk about in my book is getting clarity on what your goals are and then putting a plan in place. And most people I talk to have no clarity. They're just kind of slogging along without a specific outcome attached. And then once you have, and then they can't figure out why they're stressed. Well, because you don't know why you're doing what you're doing. When you're inspired to do something and you know why you're doing it, it's easier to be more inspired. So I do have another program in there. And I'd love to share with your listeners. The program's only it's less than $100, but they can get money off if they just use the word podcast as a discount for them.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Podcast as a discount code to get a discount on that. Wonderful. Well, thanks very much, Allyson. And if you either want to learn more about Allyson, get into her world, she's doing lots of exciting things, speaking, writing books, go and check it out. Do the confidence course. I'll put all the links in the show notes for Allyson. Thank you once again, Allyson.
Thank you.
All right, let's go around the horn, as they say, to Michael Huber. Sports psychology, that's very interesting. And what types of athletes, that's why you got all the sports questions right. What types of athletes have you worked with?
I focus my practice on working with young athletes actually and their families. So, kids anywhere from 12 up through 22. So mostly high school and college, and try to be a resource for families and help them with some of the things that, Allyson was talking about, just in terms of helping them develop confidence and help them think about why they, participate in their sport and how they can navigate some of the stresses of what has become a really, really involved industry here in the United States.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy the work that I do working with young people.
Do you have a few people that are sort of hopefully headed towards NCAA scholarships or even beyond?
Yeah. So I actually have a number of athletes that are currently participating in college, and I started with them when they were in high school, which is always fun, but that also brings up a lot of new challenges through transition, which is something I'm really focused on and interested in helping with, which is, getting them ready for that next step in their lives, which a lot of times they're not mentally and emotionally. They think they are, but they're not. So really helping them look ahead and say, hey, what's to come? How can I put myself in the best position to succeed now that I'm going to be on my own, now that I'm going to have to navigate some of these relationships without the support of a parent or a coach that I've known forever. And I think that's an eye opener for a lot of young athletes.
I always get the feeling about that. I mean, it just seems like a lot of pressure, but how do you mitigate that? Because often you're going to have sort of high pressure parents. They want this for their kids. How do you work out whether the child should be on this path or maybe not? It's a tough one.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to why am I doing this, right? And I think a lot of young people don't really understand why they're doing it, other than, hey, I'm doing it because my parents want me to do it, or I'm doing it because I want a scholarship or whatever sort of external reward that comes with it. But if you wake up every day, the amount of work and effort that you have to put into being an athlete is really extensive, which can lead to burnout, right? And if I don't understand exactly why I'm doing this, what I love about it, what the purpose is, that's going to turn into a burden, just like anything else. And so really helping them understand, like, why are they doing it? Right. And also helping them understand what they can and can't control, which includes parents. A lot of times, your parents want it for one reason, but you can't rely on them to sort of be the driver, or you can't try to make them happy because you may never make them happy, even if they want the best for you. So it's really helping kids kind of solve their own problems and think about the world in a different way, almost preparing them for adulthood in a lot of ways. But it's done through the lens of sport.
And you're dealing with exceptional kids a lot of the time. So there are kids that are they just love competing, and they love pressure, and they can handle it a lot more. That's fantastic. And what sort of sports are we talking here? Just to get an idea.
All types. So I do baseball, soccer, hockey, track and field, football, basketball. I mean, you name it. It's not sport dependent, although some sports are maybe more common, like baseball is very common in the United States to work with somebody like me, but all sports are relevant because every athlete has their own sort of doubts and questions about how to handle their sport. And I think to what you were just saying earlier, I find that there are very few young people at their age that relish the pressure, right? Perfectionism is something that comes up in various like shapes and forms in my work. And I think a lot of athletes are really, a lot of times they're afraid to fail. And so that kind of clouds their ability to sort of look at things as an opportunity or a challenge, or to sort of engage and relish the pressure rather than looking at it as, oh no, I don't want to screw up. And certainly that's part of my job, is to help them look at things from a different perspective.
Hey, can I just ask a baseball question?
Sure.
Which types of baseball player, as in batters or pitchers, benefit the most from sports psychology in your experience?
Oh, that's a good question. I would say the pitchers, and the only reason I say that is because pitchers have a higher degree of control in terms of dictating the pace of the game. So they actually have time to execute on some of the processes that we work through and we develop. So they're more in command, whereas a hitter is sort of more reactive.
Instinctive.
And so that could be to hitter's advantage if they let it be. But I think a lot of times they feel like they're out of control because they don't get to dictate. And so they have to be able to shift their perspective and say, hey, I have to be in an attacking mode, even though I'm not in control. The pitcher has a lot more time to sort of execute on some of the mental strategies that we work on. So they feel like I have greater command over my ability to go out and do my job.
Interesting. Yeah, I thought you would say batters actually, because like when you play golf and you just can't hit the ball anymore all of a sudden, and you get yourself in a negative funk. And I always think baseball batting is like the hardest thing I've ever seen to do.
It is very hard.
Yeah, and I could not hit one of those balls at all.
It's a very hard thing. It's a very hard thing to do. I think naturally too. I mean, baseball players fail. Hitters fail more than they succeed. And I think there's a lot of room to support and help in the way they look at that. But at the same time, I think just from a human nature perspective, I think the amount of failure, I think makes it harder for them to buy into some of the things that I will teach them, because ultimately their feelings a lot of times get in the way. So we try to work on strategies to let the emotion go and focus on what we can control and have a very proactive and a proactive approach, rather than letting the feelings sort of get in the way of what they're about to do next.
Michael, just say that I'm in Kansas, and my young fella is hitting a few balls out of the park, and I want to get some help. Can you help somebody that's not around your local area, or do you prefer
100%.
to stick to local talent?
So I started my business because, very much like Allyson, this is my second professional life. I started my business in March of 2020, which we all know is right at the start of COVID. So a lot of my work initially was virtual, and that continues to be true. I see some in-person clients here in New Jersey where I'm located at, but I'd say 90% of my clients are virtual, and I've served clients all over the country and I've actually served clients outside the United States as well.
You don't sound like you're from Jersey.
I've worked really hard not to.
Wow, cool. Sorry for that soprano stereotype.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, that's really interesting. Sport's fantastic, and I love hearing about young guys and girls into sport. I think it's just such a great thing. And if you are particularly talented at it and you want to have a crack at being amazing and being elite at it, you need to have a sports psychologist, basically, to help you get the best. And so, Michael, I've got your details in the show notes. And for anybody out there that's got a young person coming up and they are thinking seriously about having a good crack at sport, have a chat to Michael. Let's have a round of applause for our wonderful guests. That was very interesting. Very good guests today. Now, people watching that have been guests will say, what about me? Well, they've all been good, but I like these ones particularly. All right. Thank you, Allyson and Michael. I'm going to wrap things up. Contact the guests in the show notes. See you next time. Bye.